Earlier this week, the mid-season patch went live. Besides the start of the One Punch Man event, it also included a bunch of changes. And some of these changes were undocumented. This might be the biggest mid-season patch ever. And that, my friends, is good news. Let's find out why. Hey guys, I'm Damesies from the Omnic Post. We are at the tail end of an exciting week. On Tuesday, Blizzard kicked off the One Punch Man vs Overwatch crossover event, which I already discussed in my previous video, so go check that out. But that same day, they also released the mid-season patch for Overwatch 2. And I am purposely not using the term balancing patch, since in this case, the balancing is just a small part of the whole update. This patch changed a lot of things to the game, more than they mentioned in the patch notes. It could be their biggest mid-seasonal patch ever. And as I said in my intro, that is good news. I'll explain why that is good news at the end of the video. First, let me cover everything that they changed, or what we currently know that they changed. I'm pretty sure we haven't found everything just yet. And let's start with the balancing. Now, the team had said that they are pretty happy with the state of the game, at least when it comes to hero balancing. And they warned us that the updates in this patch were going to be minimal, and minimal they were. But I do think that some of these smaller updates might have bigger consequences. We'll see. Now, some people tend to get really upset as soon as they read the patch notes, without even trying the actual update. That is kind of like yelling at the chef before you tasted his food. I don't want to say that anybody that does that is a prick, so let me just put it on a post-it note. Nah, I'm kidding, of course, I love y'all. We just need to chill. Let's try the update first. Anyways, the quick rundown. Orissa's ultimate can now be hacked by Sombra. Ramatra's ultimate will reset his bonus armor if he already was in Nemesis form. Roadhog's hook is on a shorter cooldown, but that cooldown starts at the end of the ability instead of the start. Wrecking Ball got some comfort of life changes, and the arming time on his minefield was increased from 1 to 1.25 seconds. Zarya's bubble cooldown was reduced by 1 second. Bob will prefer the target that Ashe is shooting at. The cooldown on Hanzo's lunge was reduced. So was the cast time on Mei's ultimate. Fire can now steer her jump jets easier. Sojin's torso hitbox was increased. And Baptiste's mortality field will keep you at 25% instead of 10. See what I mean? A lot of smaller changes, but some of it might have a bigger impact. It definitely is something to keep an eye on. But like I said, let's try it first. Now, about the other changes in the patch, there's a lot. First off, for instance, there are the new Overwatch League skins. So now every team has an Overwatch 2 skin in their colors. The old skins, they are no longer available. But if you bought them before Tuesday, you can still equip them. They also added Overwatch League bundles to the store that include 3 Overwatch League skins and an Overwatch League weapon charm that allows you to represent your team in style. Some new skins were added to the hero gallery that will most likely end up in the shop in the coming weeks. There is a polar skin for Sojin and Tracer, for instance. We know from a promo image that we got to see before the release of Overwatch 2 that there's also a polar skin for Reinhardt, Baptiste and Mercy. Now maybe they'll release them all at one point in one of those mega bundles. It is a little late in the year to release these Nordic skins, but you know, Blizzard has an office in Anaheim, California. They don't know seasons. There's also a Turtle Ship Diva skin that has a dragon on top of it. I was so confused, but I did some research and apparently the name Turtle Ship comes from an old Korean warship that got that name due to the shell-like cover they had on top of the ship. The more you know. Now, the last of these hidden skins is Necromancer Ramatra. I mean, clearly this skin is tied into Diablo. And Diablo 4 is going into beta very soon, in 2 weeks. So, now I'm wondering if we'll be able to unlock that skin by playing the beta, for instance, or if we'll have to buy it. We'll probably have to buy it. But that's about it when it comes to skins and cosmetics. Now, they also did some big matchmaking fixes, but they admitted themselves that they're not done just yet. And I can see all kinds of complaints still going around. Now, on Tuesday, they did a dev chat around the release of the new patch, and they explained what the challenges are that they're faced with and how they think to solve them. Now, one thing that was abundantly clear is how challenging this matchmaking is, especially on the higher levels, because there's way less people to kind of matchmake with. But they are very hopeful that they'll get it fixed soon. Make sure to check out that VOD, it's really interesting. Another thing they fixed are the queue times for pre-made parties in quick play. Due to some matchmaking changes they did to kind of match up opposing teams according to individual skill levels, the queue times in quick play and especially on the lower levels got a lot worse. And they did some fixes that should help out. We'll see. They updated some of the daily and weekly challenges. They broke up the win 15 games in unranked or competitive into separate challenges, so where you need to win 50 games in competitive and 15 games in unranked. The win 5 games in the arcade was expanded to include mystery heroes and free-for-all. Win 3 games in each role was changed into win 5 games in 2 roles. Now, due to that one challenge being split up in 2, there are now 12 weekly challenges, but you only need to complete 11 to get the 60 Overwatch coins. The update also included a change to the scoreboard. When players leave at the end of the match, their stats will remain on that scoreboard. Before, as soon as they left, all of the data would just disappear with them. They also added the new competitive mode, competitive mystery heroes, which sounds crazy. But I'm going to do a separate video on that next week, so make sure to subscribe. They nerfed the fishing holes in Antarctica. What? Come on, listen to poor Bastion, he's so disappointed. Come on, Blizzard, why? Arista's Forest Spirit skin got a unique javelin, so that means at one point we'll get separate javelins for all of the skins. The Bastion Overgrown skin now has a new particle effect. For this one, a big thank you to my community on Discord. I was convinced he always had that, and they said no, you're wrong. It actually looks more like a bot than it does a heart, right? Never mind. Kiriko finally has that Valentine emote. And then there's a ton of UI changes. And these are the types of changes they don't generally talk much about, but they are very important, at least to me. They added a new progress widget for the event. On the menu screen, the end game screen will not only show you the challenges you completed, but also the progress you made on some other challenges. They improved the progress bar on the battle pass. There's a new health bar. There are clearer indicators on push maps. You know, this list just keeps going. And I still discover new stuff every day. Like I said, I feel like this is their biggest mid-season update they've ever done. And that is good news. This proves that they're finally starting to catch up. I've said this many times in previous videos, but up till now I felt like they were not on top of things. It felt like they bit off too much for them to chew, like they were trying to juggle too many balls. I mean, there's a lot of comparisons I can make, but I think the point is clear. And like I said, this patch shows that they're catching up, finally. And that is because the team has been growing substantially, and that the new people that were added to the team are getting worked in. So that results in a to-do list that is shrinking fast, and in a game that is improving rapidly. Now, I think we can all agree that there's still a lot of stuff to tackle, that there's still a lot of features and content that needs to be rolled out. But at this pace, with these types of updates as we got on Tuesday, we'll get there sooner than later. And once they manage to finally catch up with all of our requests and all of our concerns, that is the moment that we'll see our patience pay off. That is when they'll start doing their best work. And sure, this most likely will be a year after release. It should have been like that on release. But look, as long as we don't figure out how to turn an 80s car into a time machine, all these should-haves are useless. So let's just look forward. And remember, officially we're still in early access. But anyways, tell me, what is your opinion on this patch and what is your favorite feature? Let me know in the comments. Join me during my streams on twitch.tv/DamesTV and make sure to subscribe for more updates on Overwatch.